Ask anyone to name the top British rivers, and Shakespeare's Avon is likely to be among them. And this is where it starts, the Leicestershire village of Naseby, site of the battle in the English Civil War in 1645, where Cromwell's parliamentarian army won a decisive victory. Apart from this wellhead, in someone's front garden, there's not much to see though, for some time. The Avon makes its way west, still little more than an insignificant brook, but forming the boundary between Leicestershire and Northamptonshire. It first becomes prominent where it has been dammed to create the Stratford Reservoir at South Kilworth. The Avon flows from the reservoir into the grounds of Stratford Hall. Stratford has been the home of the Cave family, ancestors of the present owner, since 1430. In the 1690s, the old manor house was pulled down to build the present hall, an excellent example of the William and Mary period. Catthorpe, where the Avon passes under the M1 motorway, close to the notorious junction with the M6. Nearby is Catthorpe Manor, built in the 19th century and now used as a venue for weddings and conferences. It too became notorious when it was home to Konrad Kailis, a Latvian Nazi collaborator and alleged war criminal. The Avon next flows through the north of Rugby, close to these donkeys waiting to welcome passing motorists. They're just made of wire. A short distance away, the river flows under the Oxford Canal, one of the many canal crossings that it will have to make on its journey to the sea. Back into the country, and another crossing. We've had dry weather for several weeks, and the thought of using this ford after heavy rain is rather alarming. A bit further west is the old bridge at Stratford, still used for traffic, but quite a bottleneck. At Woolston, the Avon passes below the trains on their way from London to Coventry and the northwest. The 12th century Brandon Castle once stood here, but now only its mound remains. On to Ryton Organic Gardens. In addition to being a major focus for the UK's organic movement, it houses a rather unusual piece of pottery.
This is Barbie's entry into the Guinness Book of Records. This flower pot was built in Barbie in 1985. It is 7 foot high, weighs between 1.5 and 2 tons, has a circumference at the top of 16 feet. It went to Stoke Garden Festival in 1986 and was brought back and remained in Barbie until about 2 to 3 years ago, when it was brought to the gardens here at Ryton, the organic gardens at Ryton, where it now has pride of place amongst the wildflower garden.
To the southeast of Coventry, the Avon passes through the Brandon Marsh Nature Reserve. This 92-hectare restored gravel pit has seen over 200 species of birds, as well as countless other animals. Close to Kenilworth, the Avon forms the boundary of Stoneleigh Park, home to the Royal Agricultural Society of England and many other farming organisations. It hosted the Royal Show until it was discontinued in 2009 and is still used for other exhibitions. Close by is the Stair Bridge. This scheduled ancient monument with its 9 arches was built between the year 1000 and 1599, but it's long since been bypassed by a modern road. Between the twin towns of Warwick and Leamington Spa, the Avon is joined by the Leam and soon passes under another canal, this time the Grand Union. It's now getting to be a sizable river, one that can do justice to its next location, Warwick Castle. It was built by William the Conqueror in 1068, shortly after the conquest, but has undergone many changes since then. The castle last saw military action in the English Civil War, when Royalist forces unsuccessfully laid siege. On to Stratford upon Avon, known throughout the world as the birthplace of William Shakespeare, making it a magnet for tourists. It's a fairly attractive town, but apart from its Shakespeare connections, there's not really that much to see.
Oh, then you are so great a favourite, I find, among the ladies.
Yes, my dear, a great favourite. I do not see what they find in me to follow.
This is the original Shakespeare Memorial Theatre, pictured in the 1890s. The modern Shakespeare Theatre was opened in 1932, after a fire destroyed the original. So that's the first half of the Avon's journey to the sea. The rest is another story.